Eliminate hip pain and increase hip mobility with the 10 exercises I'm gonna show you today. Let's jump in. I'm commonly asked from people who do our workouts, how do I address my hip pain? And so this workout video is for you. It's 10 minutes and 10 of my favorite hip mobility exercises as well as hip strengthening exercises. So let's jump right in. We're gonna hold each exercise for around 30 seconds, but you can always hit pause and hang out in a specific stretch or exercise if you feel like that exercise really wants more from you, okay? So we're gonna get started with a classic standing hip flexor stretch. I'm gonna stand on my left leg and I'm gonna pull my right heel towards my glute. I'm gonna tuck my tailbone or my pelvis tucked towards you or towards me, right? We want a nice tuck in there, really lengthening through this hip flexor. Stretching it, pulling that heel to glute, really lengthening, soft bend in that standing leg. You can always grab a chair, a countertop if you need some balance or stability to hold on to, but you're just holding this stretch for as long as it feels good for you, okay? So we're gonna hang out here. You got 10 more seconds on this side. You're gonna switch over to the left side. Nice, challenging that balance. Really keep that tailbone tucked. You're here for 3, 2, and we're gonna swap it out. So standing on my right leg, left heel comes to the glute. Again, same thing. Really tuck that tailbone, lengthen through that quad, open up that hip flexor, a nice standing hip flexor stretch. So the front half of this workout is gonna focus on stretching exercises that are gonna take our hip flexor through a full range of motion, take our hips through a full range of motion, so we have good mobility. The last half of the workout is gonna focus on strengthening our hips, all right? So you're here for 5 more seconds. Nice work. You're holding it here for 3, 2, and 1. Now you're gonna drop into a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So simply right foot forward, left toes back. Same thing, tailbone is tucked. You can reach your arms up overhead, really feel that length, all right? You're gonna feel this based on how much you're tucking your pelvis. You wanna create that length, really open up that hip flexor right here. I know sometimes you'll see people really getting into this. That actually doesn't have as much benefit as really just focusing on tilting your pelvis and getting nice length right here through this hip flexor. Gonna hold this side for 5 more seconds, and then we're simply just gonna switch sides, show the other side some love. So right knee down, left knee up. Same thing, tuck that tailbone. Really think about lengthening right here through this hip flexor. You can add a big arm reach overhead that really helps create some length in the body. Big breaths in as I breathe in, and then exhale. Nice work. As you exhale, think about getting a little bit more length or just pulling up, pull your arms up towards the ceiling. Really lengthen right here. Nice work. You're here for 5 more seconds, and then we're gonna go onto our backside in 3, 2, 1. You're gonna kick it up and over, sitting on your butt. You're gonna take the right foot across the left knee. Seated figure 4 stretch, right? So you're gonna be sitting up nice and tall. You could do this on a bench or a chair if that's more comfortable for you. All right, so now you're gonna hit the outer hip. So you're hitting your hip flexor, your internal hip. Now you're gonna hit a little bit more of your external hip, so we're targeting right here. With this, you can pull that heel. The closer I get my heel to my butt, the more I'm gonna feel that outer hip. Nice. Just gonna hold it here, sitting up nice and tall, and you're gonna switch sides. So right leg out, left ankle to right knee. This routine is a quick and simple routine you could walk through every day to increase your hip mobility and strengthen your hips. It's a great routine to try before a run, right? Getting some nice mobility in the hips, nice little stretch, followed by a little bit of strength right before you hit that stride, that running stride. Nice, lot of tension on the hips if you are a runner, right? Transferring that load from side to side. We need strong hips for everyday life. Nice, you're here for 4, 3, 2, and then we're gonna take it to the butterfly stretch. So, soles of the feet to touch. I'm sitting up nice and tall on my sit bones, and I'm thinking about dropping my knees to the mat if you needed a little extra help. Sometimes people put weights on their knees to really help pull down, all right? So now we're hitting the internal hip again, right? Opening up right here. Hitting right here, sitting up nice and tall, find length in the spine, really drop those knees down towards the mat. Nice, you're gonna go all the way up and over to your backside. We're gonna go to a knee pull with some internal and external hip rotations, okay? So now you're gonna go all the way over to your backside. I'm laying flat on my back. I'm gonna pull one leg in, doesn't matter which one, we'll do the other one. Pull knee to chest. Now pull that knee out towards your armpit, okay? So you're hitting that internal hip. And now pull the knee across your body, and you're gonna feel a nice stretch right here. You can take this all the way over into a full spinal rotation, keeping this shoulder connected to the mat. That's an option. If you want more, hanging out here, really great for releasing the low back as well if you struggle with low back pain. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So other leg pulls in, take the knee out towards the armpit, opening up right here. And again, you can hang out here as long as you find a sticky spot or anything that you feel like needs a little bit more in your body. And then you're gonna take that knee across. Again, you can go right here, or you can go all the way and get as much as you can, really rotating. You're gonna feel a nice stretch right here in this outer glute, outer hip area. Trying to keep your shoulder connected to the mat. Awesome job. All right, we've done a lot of stretching the hips, and now we're gonna strengthen them a little bit. So I want you to come up to a seated position, okay? I'm gonna start sitting up nice and tall. My hands can be placed here, fingertips facing my butt. Now you're gonna go into a knee pull and a knee pull. So now we're gonna really start to activate the hip flexors, right? You're gonna start to strengthen them. You can take this up a notch several ways. One of the best ways to do it is to add a mini loop resistance band around your feet. That's gonna create constant tension on the pull in and the resistance back. So that's a great way to add some additional challenge or really strengthen those hip flexors, okay? So that's option A. Now we're gonna go to a straight leg lift. I could pretend I have a dumbbell here. I'm gonna lift my leg up and over, up and over. So I need to activate my quad, the top of the thigh, and up and over. But this one really is a great exercise for strengthening your hips. If you struggle with hip pain, I 10 out of 10 suggest adding this exercise to your daily routine. A great way to strengthen your hips. You can start small and then take it into a bigger range of motion as you gain capacity. All right? Nice work. Awesome job. All right. We are gonna go into a side lying leg lift. We're gonna hit our abductors, that is our outer hip. So I'm gonna come over into a side lying position. Again, if you wanted to intensify this, you could add a resistance band. I'm gonna lift and lower the leg. I'm gonna lift and lower right here. So I'm hitting abduction. My abductors are my outer glutes, my outer hip muscles. Right here, you're just lifting and lowering. Again, you can add a mini loop band. You can place it around your quads, or you could place it around your calves. That's really gonna intensify the activation, and you're not gonna need to lift nearly as high, okay? The whole point here is to strengthen this outer hip complex. And then you're just gonna go up and over. Same thing, other side. So we're hitting the outer hip first, and I'm sure you can guess what's coming next. We're gonna hit the inner hip or your adductors next. Nice work. So just lifting here, lifting, strengthening through these outer hip muscles, this outer hip complex, one leg lift at a time. Nice, you got about 10 more seconds here. And then we are gonna challenge our internal adductors right there, inner thigh area or inner hip. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so you could do this on a bench or a chair. You're gonna come up into a side plank. Now you could hold the plank like this, or you could go into a single leg plank where I'm pulling my inside knee off the ground. You're gonna feel your adductors or your inner thigh, inner hip complex really fire up with this one. This is a great strengthening exercise for your inner thighs, your adductors, and your inner hips. Highly recommend this one for runners or for anybody trying to just gain really great hip stability and control. All right, that's a challenging move. You can see me shaking through it. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You can always start by setting up with a side plank. You could stay right here, or again, you can come to bringing this inner knee off the ground, and you're just holding here in this side plank position. You're gonna see this really start to fire up. I'm probably shaking. It's a very challenging move to work up to, but a great way to strengthen your hips. We can't just stretch them if you're in hip pain. Strengthening is also required. You're holding here for 5 more seconds, and then you're on your backside for your final move, glute bridges. Nice work, drop it down. Awesome job, guys. All right, now you're on your back. Final 2 moves is a single leg glute bridge for the hip complex. Glutes, hips, everything's turned on. Start with one leg, pull the heel nice and tight to the glutes. You're gonna lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now, if you're not quite at a single leg glute bridge, you can always take this to a double leg glute bridge. Great option. But going to single leg, unilateral work is really great. If you're experiencing hip pain, it's typically on one hip, right? So we wanna balance out those muscles that are compensating for each other, which is very common in hip pain. So that's why we like single leg exercises for strengthening the hips. You're here for 4, 3, 2, and you're just gonna simply switch legs. Single leg bridge the other way. Nice, this is it guys, this is your final move. Quick 10-minute warm up for runners before your leg day. You got some stretching and mobility in, you got some strengthening in. Great solid 10-minute workout all on its own. Yes, and no equipment needed, so you can do it absolutely anywhere. I hope that you found this video helpful. If so, I'd love if you hit subscribe to my YouTube channel or dropped a comment below letting us know how this one helped you out. 3, 2, and recover. Awesome job, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for doing this workout with me. Love to see you back on the mat for another workout soon. Thanks for knocking out that workout with me. If you loved it, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've queued up another workout you might like here. Otherwise, I'd love for you to join me in a 2-week strength challenge. You can find it in this playlist right here. Have a great day.